If you think you were born to be dumb, but want to become smarter, it's actually pretty easy. But first, why do you want to become smart in the first place? It's usually because you want better grades, but let's be honest, we just want to sound smart in conversations so we can have more aura. And we also want to stand out to be the smart one in the room, so we could have more aura. But the first step to being smart is to stop thinking that people were born to be smart in the first place, and somehow you're just the unlucky one and ended up being born dumb, and you're going to be dumb forever. But that's not entirely true. Yes, while some people are born with the ability to remember all digits of pi, and you're struggling out here trying to remember what all the parts of the cell is, that's not an excuse for you to play victim and say, I'm not smart because I'm not born this way or that way. You need to cut that mentality out of your mind and actually start believing that you can be smart. Not that you're not playing victim anymore, or I hope so, and believe that you can actually be smart. You're ready to take action. But the first action people usually take is to search online how to become smart. But the problem is that a lot of advices online are too vague. Read books, exercise, drink green tea, play an instrument, eat nuts? See the problem? You can do as much of these things, eat as much nuts as you want, and you'll still see the same letter grade on your paper. And you'll look like a bum in the end because you believe in these things. So, how do you actually become smart? Well, it's actually simple, and it goes against a lot of common advice you see online. You need to become overly obsessed over one thing and get super good at it. Wait, what? What are you talking about? That's probably what's going on inside your head right now and you think I'm crazy. But please, let me explain. The reason why you think you're dumb is because of the grades you get in school. Math, C. Science, C. English, C. PE, A. The reason is not because we're genetically dumb. It's because we really don't care about what a squared plus b squared equals c squared is. We don't care about no mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And we genuinely don't care about some dude named William who wrote a bunch of poems. Like literally. In school, you probably care more about how to get your crush to like you back than the Pythagorean theorem. But my point is that if you don't care much about a specific thing, like boring subjects in school, you won't put an effort into learning these things and actually trying to get smarter in these subjects. The smart tryhards in school are smart because they just want to go to their dream university and then eventually land a high paying job. But you know, damn old Emily with a PhD in gender studies is going to end up homeless instead. But my point is that people are genuinely not interested in these boring subjects unless you're a nerd. They're just there to go through it so they can get a job eventually for money. That's why I'm telling you to get obsessed over something. So you'll actually put an effort to learn the ins and outs about a specific thing and you'll eventually turn out to be smart. For example, take the dude in the school who's absolutely cracked at video games. Let's say he plays Valorant. He knows all the ins and outs, like the perfect crosshair placement, using the most optimal settings, when to peek or not peek, and can call out every corner of the map like it's his second language. When he talks about Valorant, he sounds like a legit genius. He sounds really knowledgeable because he's so obsessed over the game. But nah, I'm not saying that you should grind 12 hours a day on Valorant to boost your IQ, because you're most likely just gonna come across as a nerd. Well, another example is the guy who fixes cars. One day, your car engine was overheating and you called him to see what's wrong. After 15 minutes of just checking your car, he sees that your gasket has been worn out. You look at him and say, damn, you're a genius. But bro doesn't even have 12 years of education or a PhD. He's just a guy who loves buying beat up cars from Facebook Marketplace and has a regular job as a mechanic. When you're really obsessed over something, you'll naturally put in more effort to learn about those things. So you should pick something that actually interests you. It could be something as stupid as doorknobs. You'll be known as a person who knows all types of doorknobs, the best material for doorknobs, different types of locks doorknobs have, how to fix or replace a doorknob, and also knowing that brass doorknobs actually disinfect themselves. And you'll also be known as a smart guy who knows a lot about doorknobs. Plus, you'll become more memorable to people because knowing a lot about doorknobs is not something everyone has. But just don't sound like you're trying to impress people when talking about doorknobs. So tell me about brass doorknobs. Actually, brass doorknobs undergo a process called the oligodynamic effect, where metal ions reflect the cellular membranes of the posterior and sanitizing. Like, just say it in simpler terms while being a little humble so you don't come off as annoying and weird. Anyways, let's say that you're interested in doorknobs now, but you're still a newbie and know nothing about doorknobs and have no idea where to start. Well, I don't know. There's a thing called Google. I don't know if you knew that, but you can actually type anything you want to know about doorknobs and boom, just like that. Magic. But if you have a slow attention span like me, there's a website called YouTube. I don't know if you already know, But you can also type anything you want to know about doorknobs and boom, just like that, magic. If you have a specific question about doorknobs but don't have time to look for answers, I don't know, there's an AI called ChatGPT. I don't know if you know this, but you can actually ask questions and it'll give you answers and boom, just like that, magic. There are just endless resources online that you could use. But you can't just watch these videos alone and say, I know a lot about doorknobs now. You actually have to practice and put your knowledge into action. You don't learn how to tie a shoelace by watching how to tie a shoelace. You learn how to tie a shoelace by actually tying a shoelace. So we have to actively do something to make ourselves remember what we've actually learned, or else the information just goes out the window. So if you want to learn how to switch out a doorknob, but don't want to buy new doorknobs because you're unemployed and broke, you can just use 2 doors in your house and swap the doorknobs. But if somehow you don't have doorknobs in your house, I don't know, maybe you're rich and live in a house with all automatic doors, then you can use your imagination and try to think of you switching a doorknob. Visualize it a couple times and visualize it hard. But I still recommend actually actively doing it so you actually know how to switch out a doorknob the next time and you will not forget it. This way of learning things can also be applied to subjects in school to get smarter. Instead of just reading the diagram of the cell, find a practice test online and test yourself every part of the cell and try to remember. Instead of just remembering math formulas, actually do all the practice questions that your teacher assigned you. The easiest way of studying and becoming smart at school is to do a lot of practice questions and make concise notes. But you can't get away with just doing 1+1 level problems all the time. You have to do practices that mentally challenge your brain. When some of the questions you do are getting too easy, then you should increase the difficulty of the questions that you do. Your brain is like a muscle. The tougher the questions and the practices you make your brain go through, the stronger and smarter it will become. But if your subject requires you to read 50 pages of Times New Roman size 9 font textbook reading each day, then I can make a video about school related stuff if this video blows up, because I'm just gonna go off topic if I continue to yap. Anyways, I hope you learned something new in this video. If you want to share how you got smart, comment down below. I want to hear your stories as well. Anyways, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.